Hey Dad, what's today's daily crypto news?
Well, there seems to be a lot of money flowing through ripplenet in both fiat and crypto, and so the volumes are starting to grow. I have a funny feeling that once, do you remember when ISO 20022 becomes mandatory? Which month?
In January, right?
No.
Wait, November.
There you go.
November.
ISO 2002 standard, which is blockchain language it includes, just to make it simple, when transfers happen in banks, usually there's like a text message sent, and then the settlement happens later. It's almost like when you use your credit card or a debit card at a restaurant. You give it to them, they get all the information from you, that's the messaging, then that gets sent to the bank, and then later the bank settles, the transaction. Well, that's kind of how it works today. ISO 20022 is the messaging and the settlement all in one shot. And as you well know, using XRP, it happens in 3 to 5 seconds, securely and inexpensively as well. Those transactions are 0.0002 cents per transaction. Now, if people start to see a little more than that, it's because third parties are getting a little piece of that action. But on average, it should reduce those fees quite a bit for most people. But the transaction itself, if you're doing it on XRP, it's a fraction of a penny. But here's what's being reported.
It says Ripple Africa Japan, 30 billion in payments on RippleNet, both fiat and crypto. Institutional inflows and outflows pouring in rapidly, accumulating XRP.
And that's exactly it. This is one of the reasons why you take advantage of the dips if you're into XRP, if you're interested in investing in cryptocurrencies. These dips help you build a bigger bank, because once a lot of these things become standardized, and it's coming pretty quickly, not just on the global financial stage, which is what ISO 20022 is, but also legislatively. We're watching governments start to deliberate, pass legislation with respect to cryptocurrency. The Clarity Act, I think, is going to be a big impetus, a big catalyst for the industry, because it's going to clarify what certain cryptos can and will do. I think that's what's going to make a lot of meme coins disappear pretty rapidly, right? They're going to be what they are. They may not disappear, but they're going to be revealed for what they are. And it's just, it's basically one of those like a multi-level marketing thing is, if you can just convince somebody else to pay you more for it than you paid for it, is the only use case those coins have. Then I think people will be immensely dissuaded from investing in those projects, if you can call them projects. But this is what's coming, and it's not just a crypto enthusiast saying it. Brad Garlinghouse has a thing or two to say about it himself.
On a very positive note, we made some major announcements this week. We've processed $30 billion in payments on RippleNet, both fiat and crypto. We're partnering with MFS Africa to bring ODL to Africa, our 6th continent.
So yeah, and keep in mind, he said 6th continent. Does that tell you anything? I mean, how many continents do we have on the planet?
Like what? 7, 8, something like that.
I don't know. I forgot that. That was so what? High school or middle school? I don't remember.
No, it's elementary.
But there's more than 6. I know that. Yeah, there's more than 6, but nonetheless, somebody let us know in the comments what it is. I'll look it up right now.
No, there's people who argue this, because some people count like North and South America as like one for some reason, and then some other people like argue about Central America. I don't know. I've heard so many arguments on the continents.
Well, I'm sure somebody there will have a thing or two to tell us about this. I might even look it up in a while, but nonetheless, 6 continents. It covers 6 continents. That's a pretty big deal when you're talking about money or a global financial system. You have to be able to cover them all, right? And that's pretty close to all of them. At least all the ones that matter, all the major ones, they're in there. So to me, this is good news. I think once ISO 20022 becomes standardized, I think this is mostly for the Western world so far. But we still need, we're going to need other parts of the world to standardize their banking systems as well. There aren't that many left, and none of them are as big as this one. So, I mean, if you want to participate in the global financial system, you're going to have to talk this language anyway. So you got to start somewhere, and we're starting with the biggest and the baddest of them all. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. Until next time.
Adios, amigos.